Morning. Woke up to a really cold morning here in coastal North Carolina, 26 degrees this morning. As you can see, water is still our problem, but we got something different today. We have a sunrise. We haven't seen the sun in roughly 21 days other than just a few minutes at a time. It's been cold, it's been wet, it's just record rainfall down here. The gardens are behind, the greenhouse behind. We couldn't even start in the greenhouse because without the sun shining on it, it was just another cold building. I'm gonna go feed some chickens this morning and walk along. Got my muck boots on because the water is everywhere. Yeah, and frozen. 26 degrees, this much water. The roads were horrible. And for those of y'all that make fun of people in the south that can't drive when there's a little winter weather, keep one thing in mind. We don't own a salt truck in this county. We don't have a plow. If we get an inch of snow on the road or ice, there's just no way to remove it. So it becomes a problem. Today I'm not going to do many outdoor projects because it's just so wet. The deck is still frozen under me. Everything's slick. We did have one casualty with all that rain. We got so much rain that the pool we left up all winter actually overfilled. It busted a hole, it stretched it so much that it busted a little hole in the side of the liner and drained it down about a foot. See if I can fix it later, but I'm not going to work on that today. Let's feed some chickens. Chickens are fed, we got the eggs gathered. Let's go and see what Tracey's doing. I think she's up. Today we're going to do some projects in the house. I think I'm going to build a shelf in the closet in the bathroom because she's been after me a while on that. Get some of the stuff out of there and get it more organized. Well, got the eggs.
All right.
See, you finally got up.
Yes.
How's your morning going?
My morning's going good.
What are you doing there?
I'm cutting celery that I'm trying to transplant, that I'm trying to get to grow in the windowsill because I couldn't get outside to plant anything. I've got lettuce and romaine lettuce and celery, several pieces of it.
Ooh. Already a bit warmer in here. Once it warms up outside and the sun's been on this a little bit, it's probably 10 degrees warmer in here right now than it is outside. With the sun not shining for 20 some days and the rain coming down, the greenhouse was just another cold building on the farm. So today we want to try to get in here and get this disaster cleaned up that we call a mess, get everything organized, and that way after this last cold night tonight we can start to put some lettuce and cold crops in here, because it's going to be a while before we can get anything into the gardens. They're just a saturated mud hole. In the meantime, while we wait for the greenhouse to get warmed up, I'm going to go see if I've got the materials to get that shelf built in the bathroom. Maybe build 2 shelves in there. I'm just going to take some 2x2s that I ripped out of 2x4s and use some glue on to build some shelves to store toilet paper and paper towels. Because right now, when we bought the house, it just had a little thin metal shelf in there. I'll show you that. Let's just go see if we got the materials to do this job. Well, I don't have the materials I need to build the shelf, but I'm still stuck on doing that today because there's just not a lot to do outside. So I got to run over to Home Depot. I'll grab a couple 2x4s. We'll rip them on the table saw and get this thing rolling. And maybe, just maybe, get this truck unloaded today from all the chicken feed and everything I'm storing in here. See what temperatures come up to. Well, ice possible, drive with care. We're at 33 degrees now. So let's roll over to the Home Depot and get the things we need. Well, one thing about a homestead is never run out of 2x4s. Most versatile piece of lumber on the planet, particularly if you got a table saw and you can shape it into what you want. But you know, I was just in the Home Depot and picked up 5 2x4s, all I got. And I don't know what's wrong with people today. The guy got in line behind me. They've got 2 registers open in the lumber aisle, which is as many as they have. And he just starts complaining to me that 50 people waiting in line and only 1 register open. And then he was buying some lumber by the foot. And they put it against the wall and measured it, and it was 8 foot. Yeah, okay, that's just 7.5 foot, he said. What is wrong with people today? Just trying to take advantage. As far as I'm concerned, that's stealing half a foot of lumber. She charged him for 8, and he grumbled some more, but he went on his way. But now I really don't know why I didn't say something to him, but I kept my mouth shut and just bought my lumber and went on. But it's people like him that cost people like me, because they take advantage of pricing, and I don't know, just weird to me.
This morning, while Rob went to Home Depot to go get some 2x4s so he can take care of his project today, I'm going to be planting, or blah 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 blah. I'm going to be transplanting some little starts of peppers that have come up, and I need to get them out of there because other things are not coming up yet. And these are touching the top of my little domed starting trays. What I do is I just take regular junk Tupperware, plasticware that you would buy at Dollar Tree or wherever, and I've got different utensils that do not belong in my kitchen that I use for gardening. You can go buy expensive trowels and stuff. The way I lay them down and walk off, they're hard to find. So I just keep plastic stuff around that I can use. I'm going to fill these pretty full because once I add water, it'll soak up the water and actually it'll dissipate and become shorter. The bowl won't overflow. And I'm not going to be, this one's got a red strip. This time of the year I absolutely love. I love working in the garden. I love working with seeds. I love working with all of this stuff. And this weather here lately, with all the rain that we've had, has really just been crappy. A little much. However, the sun is shining today. It's supposed to shine for the next several days, and the temperatures are supposed to be rising. So we're looking at this week in the 60s, and that will be absolutely wonderful. Seeing how it was 28 last night, it's going to be 27 tonight, and that really sucks. That's really bad for mental health at that. Simply because you know you need to get so many things done, but the weather won't allow you. With it pouring the rain, as Rob showed earlier, we're in a swamp, and in order to be able to get out to do anything, you have to wear muck boots. You're wading through the water, and it's just a muddy mess. We can't even get near the garden. If you do, you sink up past your ankles and in mud, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. All right, let me get some water.
So I'm headed back home and gonna get these shelves put in, and I think Tracey right now is getting the starts out of the trays from the heat mat and putting those in pots, getting ready to get them in the greenhouse as soon as the weather breaks. We'll get out and clean the greenhouse up later. I'm gonna tell y'all, 3 weeks, really a solid 3 weeks of heavy rains, gray skies, cold weather, and not being able to see the sunshine other than a minute or two at a time almost leads to depression. I wasn't the only one. The customers coming into my full-time job were grumpier than usual, and you understood. People were just so tired of all the water and rain. Man, it feels good to see sunshine today. I don't know if y'all saw on the news here recently that tornado in North Carolina. We went through that storm the other night. The tornado touched down about 15 miles from here. It was on the ground for 22 minutes and caused some major destruction. We lost a few lives. This beach weather, hurricane season coming, you got tornadoes at land, you've got crazy storms. I don't know. We're building homestead number 3 and showing you how we put one together. Tracey and I have discussed, before we get old and retire and die, we may build homestead number 4 back in the mountains, because this weather, it's hair raising. We're about 2 weeks behind right now in getting things started in the garden. The early greens, the cold crops, the potatoes in the ground. And if it doesn't rain another drop between now and 2 weeks from now, the ground may be dry enough to actually form and plant. We're hoping. So you just do what you've got to do. We've only lived down here about 3 years, but I've learned people who've spent their whole life here, it's a hardy bunch of people. They put up with weather like no one ever sees. Make fun of us down here in the south because of the snow, but I think most people would lose their mind if they saw the kind of weather we see year round. Violent storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. It's tough. Well, I'm about back at the house, so I'm gonna go ahead and check off here, and I get home, I'll get some tools out, get the table saw out, start shaping these 2x4s, and hopefully it doesn't take long to get these shelves put in.
Okay, I ran out to the greenhouse real quick to go get some more, go get the supplies that I need to get these transplanted. One are the 3-inch pots, and I got, we buy these by the box. There's the label that's peeling off because they were in the greenhouse, but these are plant markers. And they come in bundles. I think there's 50 in each bundle, and we normally color code them, but today I'm not. And then we have these trays that are very rigid. I think they came from Bootstrap Farmer, and this is our 3rd year with them. They hold up great. Unlike the little trays that you would buy at, say, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, wherever, these are very rigid. You can pick them up. They don't flex very much at all, and they're really hard. They're hard plastic. They're a keeper. Now I've got to get the soil ready. I'm going to be using Miracle-Gro Sea Starting, I think it's organic potting mix for garden. I mix it with some water, room temperature water, and then put it in the pots and plant each plant. All the cayenne peppers are done, and all the jalapeno peppers are done. And I'll show you how many plants you can get in one of these trays that we've been talking about. I like peppers. If you can't tell, the hot peppers, the mix are pretty hot. The cayennes I normally grow, and then I dry them, which, if you can see over in the basket, Hanging off the side of the basket over there in the windowsill are a bunch of cayennes that I harvested at the end of the season, and I string them up. I take a needle, actual needle and thread, and I thread put all of them onto the thread, and then I tie them up high, let them dry, and then I take them and I can make hot pepper flakes. I can make cayenne pepper for spicing, any kind of foods. You had to be careful because some people in my household don't like really hot foods. I do. I like hot foods pretty well. Uneventful at the Home Depot.
One jerk at Home Depot.
Uh-oh, what'd he do?
Just grumbly.
I think there's a lot of that going on today.
I don't think there should be. The sun's out. Looks like you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing fairly good.
What are we planting?
We are planting jalapeno peppers.
How do you know that?
Because they have a J on JA.
Okay. It's a good thing you didn't die, because I wouldn't have known what they were.
Yeah, well, just ask our granddaughter. She's the one who did it.
So she's got the code?
She's got the code, and one of the flats has the code on the front of it. So, but these kind of ran.
Well, the problem you run into is when you don't have sunlight and can't get these immediately in a greenhouse when they sprout, they become spindly. It's a question I see asked all the time.
Yeah.
People are like, what am I doing wrong? And they've got grow lights and they're 10 inches above them. They're going to grow real fast and try to reach the light.
Yep.
So if you're using grow lights indoors, keep them just an inch away from the tops of the plants and they won't get spindly. If you replant them in pots, plant them deep.
Yes.
So that you don't have a whole big spindly piece sticking up. You just want a short piece sticking up. And that way you can get them into a light area and they'll quit being spindly.
Yep, they'll grow thicker and thicker as their roots grow.
We want to use the greenhouse, but it's been too cold.
We really want to use the greenhouse.
You know, like I explained a little bit ago, I saw a little footage out there. When the sun doesn't shine for 3 weeks and all you have is rain, the greenhouse becomes just another cold building on the property.
Yes, it does.
Greenhouse has to work, and I don't know, here along the coast, putting heat in a greenhouse just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But if the climate continues to be like this, I may have to rethink that process.
Yep. Yeah, wood stove or something.
Well, you know, I was thinking one of those outdoor wood furnaces like our neighbor had in West Virginia.
Yep.
Because then you can run piping underground and you put a radiator in each place you want to heat with a fan on it, and as that wood stove circulates that hot water, it just heats the buildings and the furnaces outside, no mess.
Yeah, we could do both buildings.
Yeah, we could actually put a radiator in the house, and if you hook up solar to it, you'd have a solar pump and you could have solar power to run the fan in the house, and you'd have heat during power outages.
Very good. Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about putting a wood stove in, but I'm not sure one wouldn't roll us right out of this house.
It probably would.
It doesn't get cold here like it did in West Virginia.
No.
I mean, we have nights in the teens, but not many. But an outdoor wood furnace would be kind of neat because, heck, they can burn for 24 hours.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
What are you doing, Edward? Eddie! Come here, man. Hey, buddy. Just wandering around trying to figure out. Mom's not eating anything.
No, I'm not.
Eddie thinks that everything's food. Constantly running around sniffing, looking for food. But if you have one of these, you own Eddie.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see if I can get my camera. His intensity becomes unreal. You can't. He lives for the ball.
He does. He lives for it.
He lives for somebody to throw it. Stay out of his way. Well, I'm going to go make some measurements in the closet.
Okay. I haven't even discussed the closet yet.
Actually, not even going to make measurements. I'm just going to go see. Okay, first things first, you got to clean the closet out. I'm going to take the stud finder. We'll mark the studs on the walls. We'll probably put the shelves at the same height as these shelves because it's a pretty good spacing between, and we can get some bigger things in. So let me get started and get these cleaned up, and that way I can get in and start putting shelves in. This should be a quick project, but those are famous last words. Okay, well, we got the majority of the junk cleaned out. Got to get these shelves out now. They use square head screws on the top and Phillips head on the bottom. So I'm gonna go get my bit case that has all my bits in it. My Ryobi set that has all my bits with different sizes, because we've got square heads in the top and Phillips head in the bottom. Nothing's ever as easy as it seems. Use my stud finder here and find my stud. Okay, got a board cut, notched out the trim, set it in. I'll go get the screws. We'll pre-drill all these so they don't split. Put one on either side, put some cross pieces in, and we're ready for a shelf. Shelf one's in. We two more shelves in there and this project will be done. Flying by pretty quick. We'll move on to something cooler after this. But this is just something that's been on my mind for a long time to do, and it helps Tracey out get some things organized. Okay, that project is done. Now we're going to get off to other things. Tracey has to go meet a friend, so she's going to be gone a little while. She gets back, we're going to go start getting that greenhouse cleaned out and ready. But the closet's done. Tracey's already come in and put her stuff in. And as you can see, it's much more organized. We have a lot more space. So that's a project done that makes her happy. And if she's happy, I'm happy. So I'm going to go find something to get into until she gets back.
Well, good morning. Yesterday kind of got away from us a little bit. We were busy. I had to go meet a friend. We were supposed to clean the greenhouse. Didn't happen. So today,
now that we're awake, we're going to straighten up the greenhouse, get the plants that she got potted yesterday put into the greenhouse for the day, and start some lettuce at some point today in the greenhouse. And then we're going to cut it short because due to the COVID, our granddaughter has been stuck in this house with homeschooling, and we're gonna take her and a friend out to get some lunch and get her out of the house for a little bit.
yes.
Last night really got away from us because you got involved in something completely different.
Yeah.
How long did you soak?
I soaked in the bathtub for roughly 45 minutes until the hot water was no longer hot.
And I fell asleep. Being out in the sun for the first time, I guess it just zapped me. But it's gonna be another sunny day, so stick with us. We're gonna get started on putting some stuff in the greenhouse.
Yes.
I don't even really know where to begin.
It's a mess. Oh, come on, Eddie.
Eddie, you helping?
I think a trash bag would be kind of a good start.
Yeah, we got this thing. But there's no trash bag in it.
No, I'll go get a big trash bag.
Okay, well, I left everything out here yesterday.
Stay. I think it turned out really good. Won't have to fight the weeds all summer long like
Yeah.
I did last year.
Well, you were smart enough to order the landscape felt, and that's heavy duty.
That's heavy duty.
But now we're going to be shorting the garden rows.
Well, we'll just have to get some more.
Well, as y'all can see, we got it all cleaned up. Pretty much, we've got the shelves open. We've still got some shelves to build. After the hurricane kind of whacked the roof off of it last year,
Yeah.
we kind of gave up on it until about right now, when we started putting the roof on in the last series. Really, it's drying up nice outside.
It is.
The garden, I'm amazed how dry it is.
Yeah.
I'd say under that silage tarp, it's pretty dry altogether. Hopefully we don't get any more rain.
All right. And we have 60-degree weather and a bunch
I
of
noticed
sun
little
to make
buds
it.
forming on your blueberries.
All right.
And then the blackberries look good going down through there. The grapes, we might have to buy grapes.
I'm getting new grapevines.
Well, I mean, they sell grapes at the grocery store.
Yeah, they do.
And that hasn't been good. We're thinking we need to move the asparagus bed. The strawberries are in and started. We've got more to put in. We'll start putting some stuff in. We need to put our banana trees out here in the greenhouse and see how they do this year.
Yes.
We got oranges last year in North Carolina, so maybe we'll get bananas in a year or two.
Be nice to have bananas and oranges and pineapples.
Well, I'm knocking off. I gotta go get something to eat.
Yes.
I'm starving. I haven't eaten yet today.
Yep. Have a good day.